The subject for this week is DNA. It is another video in the Amazing series. If you listen to the end, you will really be amazed at the conclusion, I promise you. This subject is way over my head, but with the help of YouTube and an author named Grant Jeffrey, who wrote a book called Creation, I might impress you with the depth of my knowledge. In 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick discovered DNA. DNA is the abbreviation for deoxyribonucleic acid. It is a biological information filing and retrieval system that is stored on a structure which looks like a ladder that is twisted over and over again for its entire length of about 6 feet. It is a double helix in appearance, which is stored in the nucleus of the living cell. It is so small you cannot see it with your eyes. Every living thing is made up of cells, like bacteria and blades of grass, leaves, insects, birds, fish, mammals, and humans. Depending on your size, you could be carrying about 30 trillion cells in your body. Each cell contains a double helix ladder called DNA. If we multiply the 6-foot length of a DNA molecule by 30 trillion cells in your body, its length will go to the moon and back 150,000 times. DNA contains information that determines what all living things are and how they are going to look and even behave. The color of your eyes and hair is determined by information encoded in the DNA molecule when your mother's ovum was fertilized by your father's sperm. Each of us share 99% of our DNA with other humans. The other 1% is what makes us a unique person. Your health traits can be predicted accurately by DNA tests that will determine whether you are prone to diabetes or cancer or many other life-altering health problems. Many health issues can be avoided with a test that costs less than $1,000. Even some personality traits can be defined through one of these tests. The progress that medical science has made in DNA research is beyond imagination. Picture in your mind a ladder so small that only a very powerful microscope can reveal the wonder of a single DNA molecule that has been removed from a cell where it resides. It cannot be seen with the human eye without an electron microscope. Today, scientists can observe a break in the ladder due to damage or mutations to some of the DNA strands. This damaged DNA section has been replicated naturally, which causes the host to suffer from this DNA anomaly. For example, sickle cell anemia is a severe genetic problem that some black people have. A medical scientist who specializes in gene repair can remove a damaged section from the DNA strand that looks like a sickle and replace it with a properly encoded section of the strand taken from another part of the DNA ladder. DNA duplicates itself all the time to repair itself. Sometimes the DNA molecule needs a little help from a doctor. Their repairs restore the DNA nucleus, which replicates itself. The other cells near the repaired nucleus are duplicated, and the patient slowly gets well. Sickle cell anemia causes the unfortunate victim to weaken and die. Now there is a cure. To give you an idea how small DNA is, if we could take one DNA molecule from every human on Earth, about 8 billion people, the genetic blueprint for every person could fit into one aspirin tablet. I like to think about creation versus evolution. The probability that DNA molecules could happen without a creator is impossible. Here's the proof. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? No. Which came first, the DNA, which is necessary for the synthesis of proteins, or the protein enzyme of DNA, without which DNA synthesis cannot happen? The chemical letters cannot automatically come together to produce coherent DNA and protein words. Here it gets a little detailed, but bear with me. I won't drag it out, but it is necessary to see it. Look at the colorful illustration above. It represents the structure of a DNA molecule. Notice what I call the rungs of the ladder. All of them have a letter associated with them. Those are called nitrogenous bases. There are 4 bases. Guanine, which is G, cystosine, which is C, thymine, which is T, like in tango, or adenine, which is A. The genetic code that contains these letters convey how and where body parts or organs will be formed. Notice in the illustration how the rungs combine. What changes is the letter order on each side of the ladder in which they appear. The letter sequences create a code that conveys information similar to the English language. Evolutionists argue that life happens due to billions of years of random chance events. If the letters are not chemically united correctly, they convey nothing understandable by the code structure. The DNA would not be readable. Here is an absurd illustration. If the DNA code for a finger got scrambled, then something like a finger could be on your forehead. Random chance produces nothing. The DNA code is there by intelligent design. The designer is God. A professor and prominent evolutionist from Harvard University has admitted that the unyielding prejudice and bias against the belief in God is the motive that causes many scientists to reject special creation. If they reject creation, the only alternative is everything lives by random chance events. I believe that is one of the reasons why the Bible says that God laughs at the foolishness of men. Scientists developed the first electronic computer that occupied one city block in 1946. They used electric current and interrupted that current. A very short interval of current represents 1, and the interval with no current of equal length equals 0. The ones and zeros could be arranged to make binary codes. Another computer would decode the message, and computers were developed from there. God did it a little differently. Instead of metal wires, he used chemical chains, and instead of ones and zeros, he used 4 different chemicals scientists call A, C, T, and G, as I previously described. God's code is precise and compact. The code is written on a molecule of DNA, which is twisted and folded so that it can fit into the nucleus in a cell. The codes in the DNA provide the information to create every component of every living thing, like an eye or an eyelash. According to calculations, 1 billion DNA molecules necessary to form all of the aquatic, animal, and plant species could be stuffed into an object the size of 1 grain of salt. Thanks to AI, advanced intelligence, which I wish I had, a new field of science had been created called information theory. Any language on Earth can be mathematically analyzed and understood by examining the information patterns contained in that language. Scientists have recently examined the information patterns contained in the DNA of a simple bacteria. To their amazement, the information patterns found in human language and the patterns found in DNA of a simple bacteria form words in a message form that communicates a purposeful pattern. A language that is purposeful is not random. Well, as we approach the conclusion of this video, I am about to amaze you with a little piece of information. I promised you I would. In the illustration above, you can see from the bottom up some symbols. Those are Hebrew letters with the translated English letters shown above that spells YHWH. YHWH is the Hebrew word for the name of God, Yahweh. The Hebrews did not have a separate numbering system as English people do. They assign numeric value to their letters. Right above the Y is the number 10, and above H is 5, and W is 6. The H means behold, the Y means hand, and the W means nails. So the name Yahweh, God, is actually saying, behold the hand, behold the nails. Who do you think this is referring to? Jesus? It can only be Jesus. Every man and woman, boy and girl, has the name of God, Jesus, written in their DNA, whether they are Christians or not. You have the signature of Jesus in your DNA. I hope you are as amazed as I was when I saw this. Do you know any skeptics, atheists, or agnostics? Please share this video with them. And hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for listening.